let's practice some example. So if you go back to in my Notion note here, I took some example from this CodePen card design. So we're gonna use it, and I will leave the link on the description. So what I'm going to do, I will copy all this code here. So it is HTML and CSS. So let's copy all that, and let's go back to VS Code, and I will just replace this H1, and I'm going to paste this code here. If I save it and I go back to my code here, okay, so it's going to, this is the section, but it looks like it's like shrinked. So let's go back to VS Code, let's fix it. Yeah, just come on top, remove this import, remove this root, and remove this box sizing, body, and HTML. We don't need all of this, and just save it. And if you go back to check again, everything seems to work fine. All right, so we are here. So this is our section that we added. Okay, so, and of course, let's give some credit to the Rival Desai, if in the case he found out this is design here. So let's say we want to work on this section here. For example, we want to add some background color. We want to add maybe the height of the section, for example. We want to change the name, this title, we want to change it. Okay, we want to also change the name of the design, for example. Okay, so we can just practice this small section here, and to see how it's going to be. And then we're going to talk about the blocks, and then we're going to use this as blocks. Okay, because if we can also go and just modify it like this in the section, but it does not make sense. Okay, and this we will see it, we're gonna work on it when we're gonna touch the blocks part. So let's go. So if I go back to my VS Code now, what I will do first of all, I will teach you all of the things that you need to know about the section. Okay, all these properties that you see here. So first of all is the name. So the name, it's very straightforward to understand, is the name of the section. Okay, it's the name that you see appearing inside your code editor right here. Okay, so that's the name of your section. Okay, that you just repeat inside the preset. And then you have the class. So the class is a class just like you know in CSS. So this is gonna add an extra class in the case you want to target it to do some CSS or JavaScript work. You can use some extra class here. So let's go to my code to see how it looks. If I come back here and I go to inspect this one, and if I come on top here, I don't know if I can zoom. Yes, so you're gonna have this new card over here. Okay, and if I go back to VS Code, we have this new card here. I can even add, just for you to see, seconds new card. If I save it, I have no error, and if I go to inspect, we're going to have the second new card here. Okay, is over here exactly. Okay, well, then we have, let me revert it back, let me go back to VS Code. So then we have let's talk about the tag. So this tag is just semantics. Okay, so you can either call your section section semantic, or header, footer, div, or aside. So if you don't specify this tag, by default is going to be assigned to a div. So if we go back again to check, and we are over here, so this is the classes, new card and second new card, and over here, as you can see, it is a div. Okay, so if I come back to my code and I say, okay, I want to have this tag to be a section, if I save it and I go back to inspect, we're going to have this card here, name section, as you can see over here, and the class are still here, new card and second new card. Okay, so this is just for semantics. That's completely up to you. So you can use the section, you can use the aside, you can use the footer, you can use the header, you can use the div. It's completely, even the article, it is completely up to you. The next one is going to be the, let's say we talk about the enable on, disable on, for example. So the disable on or the enable on is the same things, more or less. What it does is, let's give an example. We want, for example, to we want, for example, this section that we just made here to not be accessible in another pages, for example, or another group, for example. Okay, because let me show you quickly. This new card here, if I go back to my editor here, if I go to header here, which is like the navigation and the announcement bar, if I click on add section, I'm going to be able to add the new card on the header, which it does not make any sense at all. Okay, if I save it and I go here, refresh the page, we're going to have the new card in as a header now. If I go to contact, we're going to have everywhere the new card like this. Okay, it doesn't make sense. So you can also add it in the footer. I can add new card on the footer, and if I save it, we're going to have new card on the footer, and I'm still in the contact page. If I refresh, we're going to have the same section on the footer as well, which does not make any sense. So how to prevent it? So if you go back to your VS Code, you can come to disable on, and we can say, so you can disable on, so on the group or on the template. So when you say group, the group represents the header group and the footer group. Okay, so this is about the header and the footer. You can also disable on the templates. The templates, again, remember, templates means pages in Shopify. So we can say that we don't want this particular section to be appearing, for example, in the product page. That's completely up to you. All right, so for now, we're going to use the group. It's going to be an array, and inside the array, we're going to specify the name, okay, of the file. For in our case, it is a group, so it's like a we're going to use, I believe it's going to be, my bad, it's going to be header, okay, and it's going to be, let's go for header for now. So let me save it, and as you can see, it disappeared. It's not here anymore. And if I go back again to my VS Code and I add footer and I save it, and it's going to be disappearing on the footer. Okay, so I can't access anymore that section in the header or in the footer. If I go back, if I revert, and it's going to be the same. I can't have access on the header and on the footer. Okay, so this is what we just added, just like inside the page itself. Okay, even though we still have it here, just because maybe we have to remove it here, or just to refresh the page, because sometimes Shopify taking time to remove. There you go. Okay, and it disappeared over here. So next, let's talk about in the case you want to also like disable on some particular page, it's going to be the same. You just add templates. It's going to be an array, and you add this double quote, and it's gonna give you suggestion here, and you can choose where you want to disable on this section. And it's the same for the enable on as well. So let's talk about the next one. The next one is going to be, for example, the blocks. We're going to talk about the blocks very soon. Okay, so I will leave it for now like this. And then we're going to have the local in the case you want to add some specific translation here. I will not talk about it now. And then we have the max blocks, which we will talk about also the same time with the blocks. Okay, so for now, let's remove it. And then we have the limit. The limit is the number of the time you want this section to appear in your entire website. So if I want my section to be appear just one time in the entire website, that's up to you. So I can do here, I can come here, I can do just one. And if I save it and I go to my editor and I refresh, and if I try to add, because remember, sections are reusable module. We can add as many as we want, okay, and with different data. So if I come here, we have already one new card here, and if I try to access it again, I won't be able because it is limited to one, okay? All right, so this is it for the schema properties. So now let's talk about how we can add the background, change this text here, also this one, add some height, and then we're going to talk about the blocks.